Hi there, it is Friday, May the 10th, and this is Sharon Hess, and you're on my YouTube channel, and I just wanted to give a quick reminder that what I do at times is I have the book that I wrote, Spiritual Spice, and it has different sections and sayings in it. So what I do at the beginning of the week, I had someone create these wonderful images, cards for me. And I pull a card at the beginning of the week. Before I do that, I do prayer and meditation, and I ask the guides, okay, what do we need to focus on this week? What is it that we want to kind of try and encompass into our life? So the card that I drew at the beginning of this week was Living in the Now. And I did do another little explanation midweek for you guys. And so now it's Friday, and the weekend's coming up, and we're through the week. Yay! Okay, so I wanted to, I'll go back into the book and Spiritual Spice, and I'm on the page Living in the Now. And, okay, so this is where my eyes fell, so I'm going to read this one for you guys. Most of our perceptions are based on things from the past. This means we judge what is happening based on past experiences, things we have seen, read, or been told and stored. When we start creating our lives from the point of awareness, our perceptions become driven from our conscious mind, not blindly from our subconscious. It is a choice. Now, we all know that there's a ton of things in our subconscious mind that we're not aware of. Obviously, that's why it's in our subconscious, right? And what I teach my students and clients is that, okay, so we have our subconscious mind, which you've probably seen the image of an iceberg, and what we're consciously aware of is just the tip of the iceberg, and what's in our subconscious mind is all, let's say, everything that's below the water. So that's our subconscious and our conscious mind. Now, above that is the collective consciousness. And that's things that society as a whole believes in, that the world believes in, maybe your particular group. In other words, collective consciousness is a belief or an understanding that's like a collective, okay? A collective meaning a group of people. And then above that, we have our God consciousness. And our God consciousness is when we connect to that part of ourselves within our mind that remembers our connection to our creator. And whatever that is for you, universe, higher power, source energy, love energy. For me, when I say God, I mean total unconditional love energy, really beyond our comprehension, because it's not, conditional love, which is what we kind of look at here when we're in love relationships. But anyways, I don't want to digress there. So anyway, so what we want to, when we start living in consciousness, that means we start paying attention to what we're paying attention to, and also where our motor is being driven from, okay? I don't know why I know I used driving our bus earlier in the week, but anyway, so it's basically what is guiding us forward. What part of ourselves are we listening to, okay? And so when we're looking at our perception of the past, if you were not in any way, shape, or form an enlightened individual or an aware individual, meaning that you understand that you're more than just this, right? You understand you have that fear-based thought system and the love-based thought system. So, but if you're looking at something, your perception of something in the past, that you were in that space, then you're really not looking at it from the point of living in the now. Because in the now, you're not going to judge. You're just really not, okay? Because you're going to be experiencing the present moment. And that's one of the hardest things that we have to learn, is that present moment. And I do want to take a moment here too and get you to understand, okay? To reach that God consciousness and make it become like your automatic pilot, okay? In other words, the program that's running that you're going to go on more often. you need to just start paying attention to what you're telling yourself, what you're showing yourself, what you're projecting out into the world, because what you put out into the world, what you see out in the world is what you believe inside of yourself, okay? But when we do meditation, when we do any kind of mindfulness practice, and it could be just walking in nature and only just being in that moment, just paying attention to what is here now, not letting that, washing machine brain start going, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this, and blah, 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 and this happened, there's, that is bringing yourself into living in the now. And when you can do that, you find the peace of God in the present moment. Okay, if you're in that this, that, and the other, and this, that, and the other, and your brain's going 1,000 miles an hour, then you can pull yourself back by doing something that brings you into that mindfulness, that brings you into whatever it is for you. Your spirituality and what works for you is individual to you. Okay, nobody can really tell you what that is. But think about, what is it that brings you back to living in the now, rather than trying to figure something out in the past that you just absolutely may never figure out, and let your happiness depend on that. Because that's why we want to live in the now, is we don't want to have our happiness, our joy, our love of life. We don't want that to depend on something that may or may not happen in the future, or something that happened in the past that we're just judging, through our own eyes, through our own perception of it, okay? So I hope that you will take this weekend that's coming up. I hope you're doing something fun and exciting, or something that you enjoy. And you know what? Even if you're doing chores or running errands, you can find joy in that. Stay present. Stay in the now, okay? Stay in the moment. Years ago, I read a beautiful article, and it's before I really did any of my deep spiritual studies, and it was talking about worry depending on so many different things, particularly looking in the past or wanting to change something that just is. So it said, like, be in the present moment. Buddhists teach, be in the now. It's like, if you're washing the dishes, be in that moment, washing the dishes, feel the water over your hands, the soap bubbles, cleaning the plate, whatever it is, rinsing it with the water. In other words, experience with all your senses and all your being, experience whatever it is that you're doing. And that's how you live in the now. And that's where you find, so much peace, so much joy, so much happiness. And, life is not meant to be hard. We're the ones who make it hard. So we can choose at any given moment to shift back over into that God consciousness, right? That divine self that's within us. It's our choice. That's kind of what the whole free will thing is that we get to choose what it is that we want to focus on. So if you find yourself focusing on things that are not empowering to you, then by all means, stop, take a moment, and bring yourself back to living in the now, because that's where you'll find your true peace. And when we're in peace, that's when we create our peace, love, joy, and abundance in this life. Okay? So that is it. Have a fabulous weekend. I will see you next week. Please, if you like the videos, like it, share it with your friends, subscribe so that you'll get them whenever I post a new one. And if you'd like a private session with me, just go to SharonHess.com. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, Sharon@SharonHess.com. And besides having a wonderful weekend, remember, have a fabulous life just because you can.